I React podcast, where we react to everything and anything.
I'm excited to be here.
Today, we're diving deep into Nothing But a G Thang.
A true classic.
You guys send in some awesome source material for this one.
Yeah, let's see what we got.
We've got the lyrics from litters.com and the Wikipedia page for the song.
Nice.
So we're going to break down the cultural impact, the origins of the song, and the story behind its creation.
Sounds like a plan.
So jumping right into those lyrics, there's some lines that are just iconic, like, "Death Row is the label that praised me."
Oh, yeah. That one's delivered with pure Snoop Dogg swagger.
It's a statement, isn't it?
It really is. It's about more than just money. It's Death Row Records announcing their presence, you know?
Yeah, that whole image of power and wealth, almost like a challenge to the rest of the industry.
Right. It's like they're saying, we're here and we're a force to be reckoned with.
And then there's Compton and Long Beach together. Now, you in trouble.
Oh, man. That line gives me chills every time.
It's more than just a catchy rhyme, right?
Absolutely. It signifies this powerful alliance between Dr. Dre representing Compton and Snoop representing Long Beach.
And it really put those two cities on the map.
It did. It pushed the West Coast sound into the spotlight at a time when the East Coast was dominating hip-hop.
And it's crazy how this song isn't just stuck in the 90s. People still connect with it today.
It's true. It's like it bypassed the whole nostalgia thing and just became timeless.
The Wikipedia entry actually says that it topped the R&B hip-hop chart and reached #2 on the Billboard Hot 100.
Wow, that's huge.
That's the mark of a true cultural phenomenon.
Definitely not just a fleeting hit.
So speaking of phenomena, let's talk G-Funk. I know the song is drenched in it, but for those who might not be familiar, can you explain what exactly G-Funk is?
Sure. G-Funk is short for gangsta funk. It's a subgenre of hip-hop that originated on the West Coast.
Okay.
What sets it apart is that smooth, laid-back sound.
Yeah, it's got that real West Coast vibe.
Exactly. And they use a lot of funk samples, which gives it that unique groove.
And the lyrics often focus on life on the streets of California.
Yeah, specifically places like Compton and Long Beach, where Dre and Snoop are from.
So Nothing But a G Thang is like the ultimate G-Funk anthem, wouldn't you say?
I definitely agree with that.
But I'm curious about the nuts and bolts of the music itself. What are the ingredients that make up this sonic masterpiece?
Well, Dr. Dre is a master of sampling.
Oh, for sure.
And for this track, he sampled Leon Haywood's "I Want to Do Something Freaky to You."
Really?
Yeah, it's a 1975 funk classic.
Wow, I never would have guessed that.
He didn't just loop a section, though. He extracted these specific instrumental breaks, manipulated them, added his own signature synths and drums, and transformed it into something totally new.
It's amazing how he took something familiar and turned it into gold.
It's like alchemy, really. He
Yeah.
takes those raw materials and crafts them into a West Coast masterpiece.
Okay, so we've got the sound, the lyrics, the impact. But what about the origin story? How did this legendary partnership between Dre and Snoop even happen?
Well, the Wikipedia entry actually spills the tea on that.
Okay, tell me everything.
So the story goes that Warren G., who's Dr. Dre's stepbrother, was the one who introduced them.
Interesting.
He gave Dre a cassette tape full of Snoop Dogg's raps.
Wow. So this whole thing started with a cassette tape.
It did. And Dre was apparently blown away by Snoop's flow and his unique lyrical style.
Yeah. Snoop's flow is definitely one of a kind.
He knew right away that they had to collaborate.
That's wild. I mean, just imagine hearing Snoop for the first time and knowing instantly that he's going to be a star.
Right.
But wait, there's a twist to this story, right? Something about a jail phone recording?
Oh, yeah. That's a detail that adds another layer of grit to the whole thing.
Okay, I need to hear this.
So Snoop was actually in prison when he first recorded his vocals for the track.
What? No way. How is that even possible?
They literally held a phone receiver up to the microphone to capture his verses.
You're kidding. That's incredible.
It's like this raw, unfiltered energy straight from the source. You can't fake that kind of authenticity.
Wow, talk about a real-life story infused into the music.
It definitely gives the song a different edge. It makes you wonder if it would have had the same impact if it had been recorded in a traditional studio setting.
I think that rawness is definitely a big part of the song's appeal. So speaking of raw and authentic, the music video for Nothing But a G Thang is just as iconic as the song itself.
Oh yeah, that video is a classic.
What are some of the key elements that make it so memorable?
Well, it was directed by Dr. Dre himself, and it perfectly captures the essence of early 90s California.
Yeah, it's like stepping back in time.
You've got the classic Long Beach house party, beautiful people everywhere, lowriders cruising down the street.
I love those lowrider scenes.
And, of course, cameos from some of the biggest names in West Coast hip-hop.
Like who?
Warren G. Daz, Dillinger, Corrupt.
Wow, it's like a who's who of the West Coast scene.
It's a visual representation of that G-funk lifestyle that the song is all about.
You mentioned earlier that Nothing But a G Thing isn't just a product of its time. It's transcended that. What does Wikipedia say about its lasting legacy? Why do you think it continues to resonate with people today?
Well, for starters, it earned a spot on Rolling Stone's 500 Greatest Songs of All Time list.
Wow, that's a pretty big deal.
It is. And even the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame recognized its significance, including it in their list of 500 songs that shaped rock and roll.
Those are some serious accolades.
They are. It speaks volumes about the song's impact on music and culture.
But we can't ignore the fact that there have been some criticisms leveled at the song's message.
That's true. Wikipedia does mention that some people have criticized its portrayal of women and its glorification of gangsta culture.
Those are important points to consider.
They are. And those concerns sparked essential debates about censorship, parental advisory labels, and the responsibility artists have when it comes to shaping social attitudes.
And those debates are still relevant today, even as the music industry has gone through so many changes.
Absolutely. Nothing But a G Thang really brought those conversations to the forefront and forced people to confront these issues head on.
It made people think critically about the music they were consuming.
It did, and it made them think about the potential consequences of artistic expression as well.
It's amazing how one song can spark so much discussion and debate.
It really is a testament to the power of music.
Music can be a powerful force for change and for reflection.
It's a reflection of its time, a mirror to society, and sometimes a catalyst for important conversations.
Well said.
Yeah, it really shows how music can push boundaries and start conversations about things way beyond the music itself.
Nothing But a G Thing is a perfect example of that.
Yeah.
You know, one line that always gets to me is, and before me digging a bitch, I have to find a contraceptive.
Mm-hmm.
It's just
Cool.
so blunt and matter of fact. But it brings up a mindset that can be tough to deal with.
Yeah, you're right. While the song has that amazing groove and those clever lyrics, there are parts that are definitely problematic when we look at them now.
Exactly. Like, that line and some others make us think about how the song portrays women.
Mm-hmm.
Is it just reflecting a certain culture or time period, or is it something more?
That's a hard question without an easy answer. People have been trying to figure that out for years.
Right.
On one hand, the lyrics might just show the reality of life on the streets, where sometimes survival is more important than being sensitive.
Yeah, I can see that.
But on the other hand, those lyrics do contribute to a culture of treating women badly and like they're just objects.
It's tricky, right? We can appreciate the song for its music and its impact, but also admit that it has problems and talk about what those problems are.
Exactly. It's not about censoring the art or saying a whole genre is bad. It's about talking about these things, understanding where the song is coming from, and pushing ourselves to think about the media we take in.
So it's okay to hold two opposite ideas in our heads at the same time.
Exactly.
Okay, let's get back to the music for a minute. One line that always pumps me up is, it's like this and like that and like this. And
Yeah.
It's simple, but it just works so well. Why is that repetition so catchy?
I think it's that perfect mix of being simple and having a good rhythm.
Yeah.
The repetition makes it kind of hypnotic. It draws you in and makes you want to move. It's almost like a mantra, you know, a phrase that gets stuck in your head and becomes part of the song's sound.
And it's a call and response too, right? Dre starts it, and then Snoop comes in with his flow and builds on it.
Exactly. It's like they're having a conversation back and forth, and that energy makes the song even better.
It's like they're bouncing off each other, each inspiring the other as they go. You can feel how much they enjoy working together.
Yeah, that connection is obvious. And it's a big reason why they became such a legendary duo. You have two unique voices, two styles that might seem different, but when they come together, they create something amazing.
When we think about the message of the song, it's interesting how it talks about loyalty, brotherhood, being true to your roots.
Mm-hmm.
These are things everyone can understand no matter where they're from.
You're right. I think that's a big reason why Nothing But a G Thang has gone beyond its original meaning. It's about a specific experience, but it also talks about bigger human experiences.
Like,
The need for community-strong friendships, the fight for recognition and respect. We can all relate to that in some way.
and those themes are presented through that West Coast lens, right? The lyrics really paint a picture of life in Compton and Long Beach.
Absolutely. The song is soaked in the culture and language of those places. It celebrates a specific time and place, and that realness is part of why people like it.
It's like a musical postcard from 1990s California capturing the feeling of that time.
I love that analogy. It's a perfect way to describe the song.
Okay, time for a pop quiz. What funk classic did Dr. Dre sample for Nothing But a G Thing?
That's easy. It's Leon Haywood's I Want to Do Something Freaky to You.
Nailed it.
And it was a brilliant choice, in my opinion. Dre took that smooth, soulful groove and flipped it into a West Coast banger.
That's the magic of sampling. Taking something we know, changing it, twisting it into something totally new.
It's like alchemy turning regular metal into gold. And here Dre took a funk classic and turned it into hip-hop gold.
Pure gold. And now that sample is as famous as the song itself. I can't hear the original without thinking of Nothing But a G Thing.
That's what happens when a sample really works. It becomes connected to the new song forever. It's like a musical conversation across different times. It's cool how two pieces of music that seem so different can come together and make something new.
It's pretty crazy how this song, with its strong language and themes about street life, started a huge debate about censorship and parental advisory labels.
It did. It became a symbol of this fear of what people called gangster rap.
Yeah.
You had politicians holding meetings, parents protesting, and the music industry had to think about its responsibility to society.
It's hard to imagine one song causing that much trouble today with streaming and having access to any kind of music whenever we want.
I know, right? It shows how powerful music can be, its ability to make us react, question things, and face hard truths about ourselves and the world.
And that power is still important today. Even if the fight is happening on new platforms and in new genres, music always reflects its time. It's a mirror to society.
You got it. Music is alive. It keeps changing, pushing limits, and starting new conversations. And we as listeners need to engage with it thoughtfully, analyze its messages, and understand where it came from.
One thing that stands out to me about Nothing But a G Thing is how it's both a celebration and a warning at the same time. It celebrates that G-funk lifestyle, but also hints at the darkness underneath.
I see what you mean. There's a tension there, a push and pull between the happy vibes of the music and the harsh realities of the lyrics. It's like a reminder that even when things are good, there's always danger, a feeling that things can change quickly.
That tension makes the song even more interesting. It's not just a party anthem. It's a peek into a world where happiness and pain, success and struggle are all mixed up.
Yeah, exactly. It reminds us that life, especially in the places the song talks about, is full of different experiences, a mix of emotions and consequences. And the song doesn't hide from that. It embraces it.
And that complexity is in the music too. There's a roughness, a grittiness underneath those smooth grooves and catchy hooks. It's like a little reminder that there's a deeper story being told.
And that's why this song lasts and why it's so captivating. It's more than just entertainment. It's a window into a specific time and place, a look into a certain culture and way of life. It makes us think critically about the messages in the music we listen to.
As we wrap up our deep dive into Nothing But a G Thing, it's amazing how much this one song can tell us.
It really is. It's like a perfect picture of a specific moment in music and culture all packed into the super catchy song.
You've helped me understand this track in ways I never thought of. From the lyrics to how it was made to the bigger picture, it's been quite a journey.
It's always exciting to find the hidden depths of a song like this. It's like digging up history and finding out what shaped it.
Thinking back to what we wanted to do, we've covered a lot. We look at the song's impact, its musical roots, the crazy story of how it came to be, and even the controversy around it.
And we did it all while looking at both the good and the bad parts of the song's legacy, making sure to think critically and realizing that even famous songs can have problems.
Exactly. It's not about just praising or condemning it. It's about understanding the whole picture.
That's what's great about these deep dives. We get to break down complex ideas and appreciate the many sides of art and how it affects society.
Before we go, I want to leave our listeners with something to think about. If you had to sum up what Nothing But a G Thing means in just a few words, what would you say?
That's a tough one, but I think it comes down to this. It shows the power of working together, the lasting appeal of West Coast hip-hop, and how music can capture a moment in time. But it also reminds us that even the most popular things can be looked at critically, and that art is connected to the social and cultural things happening around it.
Well said. That meaning will keep changing as new people hear this song and think about its messages and sounds.
And like any great piece of art, its meaning and impact will keep changing as we change.
So to wrap things up, we'd like to remind you to hit the like button and subscribe to the channel. Don't forget to check out today's sponsor in the description below.
Thanks for listening, everyone. It's been great sharing this musical journey with you.
And as always, thanks for joining us on the AI React podcast, where we react to everything and anything. We'll catch you next time.